Hi, welcome to another episode of Law and Literature in Skyrim. It's been a long time since I've done one of these, but with Kathra now outside, having escaped from the underground kind of symbiotic relationship between the Dunmer and the Dwemer, she's decided that she needs to read up a bit on Elven society, and she's drawn to it too. She doesn't know why, but a part of it is she's trying to unravel the story of Project AHO, and one of the books she managed to take from the underground caverns was The Great Houses of Morrowind, and although she's human, she's interested in finding out more about these people. So without further ado, in modern times, Morrowind is ruled by 5 great houses: House Hlalu, House Redoran, House Tilvani, House Indoril and House Dres. Only 3 of these houses have interests in Vvardenfell. The 3 great houses on Vvardenfell identify themselves by their traditional colours: red for Redoran, yellow for Hlalu and brown for Tilvani. Thus, members of House Hlalu may be referred to collectively as Yellows. The great houses' traditions derive from ancient Dunmer clan and tribes, but now function as political parties. Dunmer Great House membership is largely a matter of birth and marriage, but imperial colonists may also become retainers of a great house, or may be adopted into a great house. Initially, an outlander may gain status in a house as an oath-bonded hireling, pledging exclusive loyalty to a single house and forsaking ambitions with all other houses. Later, after faithful service and advancement in lower ranks, an outlander may seek adoption into a great house. Adoption and advancement to higher ranks in a great house requires that a great house councillor stand as sponsor for the candidate's character and loyalty. Finding a councillor to sponsor an outlander often involves performing a great service for the prospective sponsor. House Redoran is one of the 3 Dunmer great houses with holdings on Vvardenfell. The Redoran prize the virtues of duty, gravity and piety. Duty to one's own honour and to one's family and clan. Gravity is the essential seriousness of life. Life is hard and events must be judged, endured and reflected upon with due care and earnestness. Piety is respect for the gods and the virtues they represent. A light, careless life is not worth living. Regimen Settlements are designed in the Dunmer village style, built of local materials with organic curves and undecorated exteriors inspired by the landscape and by the shells of giant native insects. Redoran villages are typically centred on temple compounds and their courtyards, with huts and trade houses gathered around a central plaza, as in the West Gash village of Nissis. Old Rune, the Redoran district seat, is exceptional, with its distinctive feature being the colossal prehistoric bug shell that has been adapted as the house's council house. As a result of its close relationship with the imperial administration, House Hlalu has emerged as politically and economically dominant among the great houses of Vvardenfell and Morrowind. Hlalu welcomes imperial culture and law, imperial legions and bureaucracy, and imperial freedom of trade and religion. Hlalu still honours the old Dunmer ways, the ancestors, the temple and the noble houses, but has readily adapted to the rapid pace of change and progress in the imperial provinces. Unlike the other great houses, which are largely hostile to non-Dunmer, House Hlalu aspires to live in peace and harmony with the other races and to share in the growth and prosperity of the empire. Hlalu public buildings, trade houses and craft guilds, manors and council halls are designed as simple multi-storied buildings, roughly rectangular in plan, featuring arched entranceways and modest decorated exteriors. More modest one-storey private dwellings follow the same plan, except with less decoration. Hlalu plantation estates resemble temple compounds with walled precincts enclosing outbuildings for craftsmen and servants, dominated by a grand manor residence in place of a temple shrine. The wizard lords of House Tilvani have traditionally isolated themselves, pursuing wisdom and mastery in solitude. But certain ambitious wizard lords, their retainers and clients, have entered wholeheartedly into the competition to control and exploit Vvardenfell's land and resources, building towers and bases all along the eastern coast. According to Tilvani principles, The powerful define the standards of virtue, and the Telvanni are unwilling to allow the ambitious Hlaalu to dominate Vardenfell's untapped resources by default. Telvanni architecture is dominated by the Wizard's Tower, a fantastic organic form grown and sculpted from stems, caps and root-like holdfasts of the giant native mushrooms. Telvanni villages are comprised of smaller mushroom pods hollowed out for craftsmen and commoners. Open-air markets often include the giant cages displaying the wares of the slave masters. House Indoril and House Dres are the two great houses without holdings or interest in Vardenfell. Indoril District occupies the heartland of Morrowind, comprising the lands south of the Inner Sea and the eastern coast. The city of Almalexia is located in Indoril District, and the Indoril are orthodox and conservative supporters of the Temple and Temple Authority. House Indoril is openly hostile to imperial culture and religion, and preserves many traditional Dunmer customs and practices in defiance of imperial law. Dres District is in the south of Morrowind, bordering the swamps and marshes of Black Marsh. House Dres is an agrarian agricultural society, and its large salt rice plantations rely completely on slave labour for their economic viability. Always firm temple supporters, House Dres is hostile to imperial law and culture, and in particular opposed to any attempts to limit the institution of slavery. So what would Kathra make of this book? I mean, she's human, so she's interested in a custom, and she's all about equality. So it did sound like, out of all the houses, the Hlaalu one was something that was closer to her principles, but she's very much drawn, without reason, to the Telvanni people. So I think she's interested in why that is. What is it about the Telvanni people that call to her? And can she find out maybe more about these people in order to better understand why it is that she's drawn to them? But on the whole, the elves come across as quite arrogant, selfish, restrictive people, and although she might respect the fact that they maintain and keep their traditional customs, most of them, she doesn't like the fact that they celebrate and are reluctant to let go of these roots that relate to slavery. Anyway, that's the end of me reading about the Great Houses of Morrowind. I hope you enjoyed listening. Take care.